Hey guys, Kay here. Today we'll be playing Lingering Cold. Basically, we're on a business trip and some unsettling events are going to occur, so let's clock in. With a soft click, the door shuts behind you. You slipped through the narrow gap, barely missing the TV, hanging menacingly on the wall to the left of the door. There's not much to see. The room is really small. Barely adequate if you're planning to stay 1 or 2 nights. Exhausted, you sink onto the bed and turn on the AC. Sniff, sniff. Ugh, I don't even want to know when these vents were last cleaned. A damp, stale smell creeps through the air. You wonder if it might be better to sleep in the cold. Well, I should probably unpack my suitcase. There's not much time left before Christmas, so why are you here in this shabby hotel room? The answer is a lack of project management and internal company politics. Your employer has sold a project to a client far too cheaply. The departments are overworked, schedules weeks behind. Of course, last-minute problems arise just before the holidays, and you're sent to the client to take the heat and smooth things over. Tomorrow morning, you, hopefully, resolve the issues. Tired, you glance to your right towards the desk. There seems to be a window above it, concealed by heavy blackout curtains. Maybe I'll at least have a nice view. After all, I'm on the 15th floor. A glimpse of the city might lift your spirits, even if only for a moment. Concrete. The wall of the neighboring building rises up less than 5 meters from your window. No view, no light, no life. This window might as well not exist. You don't even bother closing the curtains again. I'll be lucky if any light at all makes it into the room tomorrow morning. You worry whether the situation might disrupt your sleep cycle. But there's no changing it now. You adjust the musty heater to bearable temperature. The air is stuffy, the window doesn't open. This is the worst. You've unpacked and gotten ready for bed. There isn't much to do here. Maybe there's something interesting online. You haven't checked social media in a while. No time or motivation. Well, it looks like an old school friend got married. Good for him. Of course, you weren't invited. You barely stayed in touch over the years. Now I'm hungry. You used to enjoy baking. But ever since living alone, it just hasn't felt worth it. You can't exactly eat an entire cake by yourself every time. Boss, did you arrive safely? Huh? At least he had the decency to check on me after sending me out so suddenly. Yes, about 2 hours ago. The room is pretty small. Sad face. Yeah, sorry about that. Everything is fully booked before Christmas. Thanks again for stepping in last minute. I'll treat you after Christmas. Wow, thanks. It's fine, I didn't have any specific plans. Your boss is generally reasonable. You've worked under worse. Still, you aren't thrilled about being sent on a business trip on such short notice. Huh? Max. Hey, what's up? What does he want now? Meh, I'm on a business trip. Sad face. Whoa, right before Christmas? That sucks. Yes, and my hotel room is tiny, and I think the ventilation is going to kill me tonight. I'll offer you a little prayer for your survival before bedtime. Max is your childhood friend, and pretty much the only one who still messages you. He's okay, though he keeps sending you weird memes. You never quite know what to make of them. Want to come over for New Year's? My parents are out of town. Party time. How old are you, 15? Haha. Maybe it's time you finish college. Winky face. Nah, I'm saving a ton on rent this way. Not everyone has a bad relationship with their parents. Tongue stuck out face. Ouch, he didn't have to remind me of that now. Although it was true. Over the last few years, you've always had disagreements with your parents. It's become difficult for you to meet them. So, what about New Year's? Honestly, you don't feel like being around people. After work, you'd rather bury yourself at your PC in-game. The holidays are the perfect time to sleep in game long into the night. Nevertheless, you write to Max that you will think about it. Better not to say no right away. You finish the chat with your boss and Max and put your phone away before anyone else starts a conversation. Time to sleep. Damn it. Eventually, you fumble in the dark for the remote, turning the device off and then back on a few minutes later. Thankfully, the AC calms down again. You resolve to leave a bad review for the hotel after your stay. You can't see the clock on the wall clearly in the dark, but it seems to be after midnight. You glance out the window again, somehow, faintly illuminated by the city lights. It would have been great to have a nice view, but there was nothing there except the concrete. You've already visited the customer once. Back then, your hotel room was on the 20th floor. You still remember the nighttime view of the city, a sea of shimmering lights appearing like a toy world from above. You've always found that view kind of mesmerizing. The streets may be dirty or dangerous at night, but from above, everything seems more peaceful and beautiful. When I think about it, I've been shuffled all across the country this year. How many hotels were there? 10? And yet, I'm still technically an office worker. Your boss likes to send you to clients whenever things are on fire. Even though you were proud of your ability to handle such situations well, it was exhausting to constantly be on the move. But who else could have gone on such short notice? The other suitable co-workers all have families and small children. Right before Christmas, you couldn't expect them to take on something like this. Of course not. Pull yourself together. You shake your head, There was nothing you could change about the situation now. The next few days would pass, just like all the others. After that, you'd request some vacation time. A few days in the sun, somewhere far away. That's what you needed. That would help. Your gaze drifts back to the window. It already started snowing a few hours ago. Thick snowflakes could be seen, but otherwise, nothing. There it was again, that sound. Maybe you should have just turned the heating off after all. It doesn't stop. But I turned it off, didn't I? That sound. But this time, it doesn't seem to be coming from the heater. You listen closely. The noise seems to be coming from the window. Your breath catches. Your gaze fixes on the glass, which faintly filters the dim evening light. There can't be anything there. There's no balcony. We're on the 15th floor. Tense, you keep staring toward the window. A chill runs down your spine and you shiver. Calm down. There's nothing there. There can't be anything there. Maybe the noise is coming from the bathroom. Or who knows what's happening in the room next door. But you can clearly feel something nearby. A presence, heavy and oppressive, barely tangible, yet suffocating everything else. Worse still, it feels like you're being watched. Suddenly, silence. The scratching stops. No sound remains, only the dull thud of your heartbeat in your ears. You take a deep breath, struggling to steady your heartbeat. You must have imagined it all. You want to have a closer look out the window. Is there really nothing out there? A hand, black as shadow, presses against the glass. Its fingers are long, unnaturally thin, almost translucent. They seem to ripple, as though they don't belong to a being of flesh and blood. As if they could slip through the glass if they wanted to. Another hand strikes the glass, right beside the first. They claw at the pane, pressing against it. The fingers are motionless, yet the glass begins to vibrate faintly. The glass can't shatter, can it? Whatever is outside, it wants to come in. What should I do? We can turn on the light or do nothing. Let's turn on the light. You can't take it anymore. Whatever is out there, you don't want to face it in the dark. Your hand instinctively shoots towards the light switch, hoping the light will banish this darkness and cold. It's gone. Was it all just your imagination? You blink, staring at the room where just moments ago you'd seen the cold, shadowy presence. But nothing moves. There's nothing to see outside the window anymore. No hands, no scratching. Maybe it really was just your imagination. Maybe a nightmare clouded your senses. But one thing was certain. You wouldn't be sleeping tonight. So you stay up, watching 2 or 3 movies on your laptop. You manage to distract yourself somewhat. But the cold in your limbs lingers until morning. Ending 1, let there be light. Okay, so it looks like that was the first ending. We'll do it again really fast. Alright, we're back. Let's go with do nothing and see what happens. Your mouth is dry and your hands tremble as you press them against the bed covers. You should turn on the light, flee the room, do something, but you're frozen with fear. Your gaze remains fixed on the window, on the thing whose hands still cling to the glass. You can't move, you can only watch and wait. Its contours are indistinct, blending into the glass, but there's no doubt something is there. Something that's watching you, even if you can't see its eyes. Your body is paralyzed, yet your eyes begin to burn from the strain and the relentless staring. You can't keep your eyes open any longer. It's gone? Cautiously, you look back at the window. There's nothing there anymore. The monster is gone. You exhale in relief, your body slowly beginning to relax. Had it all just been a hallucination? Honestly, you'd much prefer delusions over the possibility that something had actually been at the window. Your eyes were probably playing tricks on you in the dark. Anyway, that was something you didn't want to experience again. A shiver runs through you again. Had the room gotten colder? Why are you here? That voice, if you could even call it that. Though you understood the words, it sounded more like a distorted clicking noise. There was nothing human about it, and it came from directly behind you. You're paralyzed with fear. Your breath catches as you feel something. A grip, icy and alien, wrapping around your body from behind, pulling you closer. It feels as though you are being pressed against a wall of ice. That arm, that hand, thin, rippling, far too cold to belong to anything human. It doesn't hold you tightly, yet you can't escape. You want to scream, to run, to do anything, but your body refuses to move. You shouldn't be here. And yet you are. All alone. No one thinks about you. No one's waiting. From that clicking, distorted voice, you can hear mockery laced in its tone. Your eyes dart frantically to the door, to the window, anywhere but toward the thing looming right behind you. But there's no escape, only darkness, and the dreadful certainty that you're trapped. Why are you here? The question cuts through the silence like a knife. The creature's arm trembles slightly, and cold stabs into your skin like 1,000 needles. What should you answer? What does it want to hear? I don't know, you whisper finally. Your own voice sounds foreign, weak, almost like an echo. Tears run down your cheeks. You know why. This voice, multi-tonal, clattering and mocking, drills itself into your mind. Say it. Your breath is shallow, your heart racing. Images flash in your head, your phone displaying unanswered messages. Gifts that were never sent. Faces that were called less and less. Your father, who said during the last conversation, maybe next year, And you nodded, though you knew you wouldn't call. It's too late, far too late. The voice laughs, distorted. The darkness behind you feels heavier, denser, as if it's closing in around you, like a heavy blanket. It gets closer and closer to you, and its shape takes on more and more form. As it does so, it whispers words to you that take away all your confidence and hope. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. The creature's laughter fades, replaced by a suffocating silence. Its gaze pierces through you, as though peeling away every layer of your being. You can't run from this, it murmurs, almost gently. So what will it be? Its words linger, heavy and final. What can you bring against this? What strength remains to defy it? Okay, we can either go with "you're right" or "that's not true." Let's go with the first option for now. You're right. Your head drops forward, and a suppressed sob escapes you. You're not just crying because you're scared. You're crying because you know it's true. Everything. No one is waiting. Not anymore. And you chose this yourself. It's so cold and dark. You feel the darkness wrapping around you. Maybe this creature had always been there. Something dark and sinister, lurking in the shadows, quietly waiting until you were weak enough to devour. It's so cold. The darkness pulls you deeper, in endless nothingness that erases every memory and every thought. No more fear, no more pain, only darkness. Ending 2, darkness. Okay, let's go for ending 3, I presume. Alright, so let's go with "that's not true." That's not true. Your voice bursts out of you, more powerful than you expected, breaking through the suffocating silence in the room. Your hands ball into fists, your breath coming in sharp gasps. It's still not too late, you say, more to yourself, that thing. I'm going to celebrate New Year's with Max. We're going to drink so much we won't know which way is up. And you know what? Then I'll make up with my parents. Just because I focus on my work these past years doesn't mean I can't change my life. The words sound firm, sure, as if you're holding onto them to pull yourself out of the darkness. Anger rises within you, a spark of defiance that starts to push the cold from your soul. Furious, you get ready to face the darkness. And wake up, drenched in sweat. Cough, cough. You don't have much time to gather yourself. There's a scratching and burning sensation in your throat. You jump out of bed in one leap and rush out into the hallway, your bare feet slapping against the cold floor. The stale, metallic taste of fear clings to the back of your throat. The door swings shut behind you, but you catch it just in time with your foot, holding it open as you try to calm your breathing. Each breath feels shallow, like you can't quite fill your lungs. The hotel hallway is eerily quiet, illuminated only by the dim lights. The air here feels fresher than in your room, cleaner, freer. You lean against the wall, your pulse thundering in your ears, trying to shake the lingering sense of suffocation. There's definitely something wrong with that AC, you're certain of it. You wipe at your face and notice a faint, grainy residue on your fingers. Was that from the door? The bed? You rub your hand against your pants, uneasy. After a few minutes, you turn the light back on in your room, switch off the AC, and place your suitcase between the door and the frame. The air inside feels heavy, almost damp. Every breath feels like drawing in something thick, by no means healthy. You glance at the clock. It's the middle of the night, but sleep? That's out of the question now. You hurriedly throw something on, grab your keycard, and head to the reception. There, you find other upset guests. Their murmurs echo through the quiet hotel lobby. Heater's broken in our room too. Smelled like something died in the vent. Couldn't breathe. They seem to have had similar unpleasant experiences as you. You're sure of one thing. There's no way you're staying here another night. The morning comes, as it always does. You get your work done, ticking off the necessary tasks, but the lingering sense of unease doesn't fade. You no longer really remember your last nightmare. The shapes, the sounds, the suffocation, all seem to slip away like sand through your fingers. But the feeling stays, that heavy, pressing need to do something, to change something. Before you leave the hotel, you pull out your phone to respond to Max. Visiting him wouldn't be so bad after all. Maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to visit your parents after work as well. Ending 3. Mold in the ventilation shaft. Alright, so we've unlocked all 3 endings for Lingering Cold. This was a short horror visual novel, and it was very eerie, it was very creepy. It's also very sad at the same time too. It poses the question of whether or not we choose to focus on our career, or to, focus on family and friends, to maintain those relationships and make sure that they're healthy and happy. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider and think about. But ultimately, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. I'll leave a link to the game in the description. Other than that, take it easy.